Welcome to Lesson 5B, Odors. I'm going to talk about odors today. I'm trying a new computer, so you can see my picture here. I'll probably alienate half of you with my Steelers terrible towel. What is a threshold? The minimum concentration that you can smell. These are typically in ppm, and we're talking about three different kinds. The first is a detection threshold. What that means is you can smell something, but you can't identify what it is. Then there's a recognition threshold. That's when you can smell something and you can identify it. You say, oh, that smells sweet, or that smells like gasoline, or something like that.
Some people at the gym have a really strong odor.
Yes, Arnold, I know what you mean. Now, of this recognition, there's two types, two classifications. 50% recognition threshold, and that means half or 50% of the odor panel, and that's what they call it. There's a group of people that will try to smell things, and you put together a panel of 20 people, and 10 of them can smell it and identify it. And then there's 100% recognition threshold, which is the same thing, except all of the panel will be able to identify it. Now, I want to make it clear that OSHA does not regulate odors. OSHA doesn't care if it smells bad at your workplace. But if you look at complaints, odors are generally up near the top in a company, number one complaint. It's kind of psychological. If you smell some bad odor, you think that it is harmful. This is not necessarily the case. I'll show you some examples on the next page, but Table 3.9 in the book, I wanted to show you comparison of these three odor thresholds. And I mentioned in the book, these are given to 2 or 3 significant digits, but they're really all over the map. Noses are very different between people. And sometimes the 50% recognition is the same as the 100%. But in general, there's a detection that's lower than a 50% and then a 100%. So that's a more typical kind of chemical. There's a lot more chemicals listed in the textbook. I want to talk about odor thresholds compared to PEL. And the bottom line here is that it's not correlated. If you do a statistical analysis, these things, again, are all over the map. So Table 310 compares the odor recognition threshold with the PEL. I just want to point out that there's some chemicals like the second one here, N-butyl mercaptan, that the odor threshold is much, much lower than the PEL. There's some where it's the opposite. 780 is much, much greater than 1 for ethylene oxide. And then there's some where it's not the same, but at least the same order of magnitude. Sometimes you have the odor threshold being much, much less than the PEL. That means you smell something, but it's not harmful. You can smell it at an extremely small ppm, but this particular chemical isn't harmful till you reach 10 ppm. There's another case where it's the opposite. You don't smell it, but it is harmful. And then there's the third case where it's approximately equal. So if you smell it, it is harmful. The bottom line is they're not correlated. If you smell something bad, it's not necessarily harmful. And if you can't smell something bad, it could still be harmful. In fact, some chemicals, they even add odors. The best example of that you're probably all familiar with is natural gas. Natural gas is naturally odor-free, but it's very explosive, as we talked about previously. They add that rotten egg smell with some sulfur. You smell that very easily. It doesn't hurt you, but when you smell that rotten egg smell, you know that there's a natural gas leak. So they do that for safety purposes. That's all I really wanted to say about odors. I just want to mention then that the rest of Chapter 3 deals with other issues that we will not talk about in this course, but you're certainly welcome and encouraged to read them on your own if you have some time. Radiation is a concern, of course, for indoor and outdoor. Section 3.7. Section 3.8 is general safety of buildings and rooms. And then Section 3.9 isn't really indoor air quality, but deals with engineering economics. We'll be talking about air pollution control systems. Sometimes they cost a lot, and we look at the economics of how that works. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. 1, 2, 3. That's all there is to it.